Hey everyone, welcome to our team training. We're so excited to have Trinity Hansen here with us, talking to us about mindset muscle, which I loved that phrase. She used that phrase like a month ago, and I was like, girl, you need to teach the whole team about this because it is a muscle that can be, your mindset is a muscle that can be strengthened, and your mindset is so important when it comes to your Color Street business. Because oftentimes we are the ones that get in our own way. And so we have to really learn to strengthen our mindset muscles so that we can like move past that and live up to our full potential and rock our Color Street business. So welcome, Trinity. Thanks for joining us.
Definitely. Thank you, Kelly.
And so before you hop in, would you share a little bit about your Color Street journey?
Yeah, definitely. I was not a nail girl before Color Street. I've never even had a professional manicure, like not that girl. But 2017, my husband got laid off from his job unexpectedly. We have 5 kids. I had a son in med school. Um, so you start looking outside of the box. I
Yeah.
had some minor success with a skincare company and loved the products, loved everything, but the price of the products really kind of closed my network in because a lot of people couldn't afford the product. So I knew I liked direct sales. Saw someone post about Color Street, saw a couple of girls post about Color Street, and I asked one of them for a sample. And the minute I put it on, I'm not lying, my heart had butterflies. Like it was like God saying, "This is what you've been praying for." So I knew it. I didn't have the money to join, sold things on eBay, and 3 days later I joined. Didn't tell my husband. It was 10 days before Christmas, and I still didn't tell him until like February.
I love that you made it happen though. You like sold stuff to make it happen, girl.
I knew. I went to bed that night so angry, like, how can I not afford something that's $150? Like, that's where my life was. I could not afford it. And I looked in my closet. There was clothes I couldn't wear. There was bags I wasn't carrying.
Yeah.
The money's there. You just have to find it.
Mhm. Yeah, many of us can relate to that starting point. Yeah, I love that story.
So I was not I guess what you call a growth mindset person before Color Street. I'm kind of the girl, the realistic girl who looks at the glass as, half empty. And it's really through the trainings from our leaders like you, Kelly, that have forced me to grow my mindset. The books, the trainings, I never miss a training ever. When someone asks me, what's your best advice for success? Don't miss these free trainings. You're gleaming insight from some of the top earners in the company. Listen to what they're doing. So
Love that.
thank you for all you're so positive and it's duplicatable. And so I've taken what you teach, and I try to mentor my downline the way you mentor us. So thank you for that.
Yes, I love that you said it's duplicatable. Like it's not like you're born with a positive mindset, it's a muscle. We're all born with muscles. We're all born with the brain, and it's something that like our mindset can be strengthened. It's duplicable.
Definitely. And you said something the other day on Instagram that really got me. You said, no one's promised easy. And that's so true. And especially, we're in direct sales. This is a no business mentality. You're going to hear no 1,000 more times than yes. So you have to really bulk up your mindset for those no's, those rejections. And you wouldn't sign up to do a 5K and not train for it. Don't sign up to do a direct sell and not train for it. You have got to bulk up your mindset muscles to prepare you for all those rejections that come.
Yes, yes, because they're inevitable. Like, and they're not, and we can't take them personally. Like, it's easy to be like, oh my gosh, they said no, or they ghosted me because they hate me. And it's like, no, 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 no. Timing is everything. Maybe they didn't even see, like, maybe they saw your message and they meant to reply, but then they got busy. Or maybe they're just thinking about it right now. Maybe they're still having a conversation with their husband. Like, you just never know what's on the other end. And so we have to have that strong mindset to like go for no
Go for no. Exactly. No is an answer. Celebrate that answer. You got an answer. That's your job. Your job is to present this opportunity, present this product. No is an answer, just like yes is an answer. And when you can accept no is good, that's moving you on to your next person. You really start to grow because you're not afraid anymore, and you're going for it, and you're reaching out to those people that you know need this.
Right. It's not, and I always try to think it's not, it's just a no for now. Like there's
Yeah.
so, you're planting a seed and there's so many people, I'm sure many of you have had this happen where someone says no, and then later they're like, okay, I want to try this. Whether it's the nails or the business, they're like, okay, let me try this, you know? So we have to remember that sometimes it's just timing is everything.
Definitely. And it's okay to say to yourself, and this is what I tell my new stylist especially, you're going to suck at this at first really bad, and that's okay. Accept that you're going to suck at it for a while, and it does get better, but no one, I mean, there are some people who come in and just are guns blazing, promoting everywhere, but, you know, I hit senior executive last November, and then we lost it. And that was the first time I had ever lost a promotion. We didn't get it back for 4 months. That was good for me. It taught me growth. It taught me mindset. It taught me not to take that promotion for granted. These roadblocks that are in your way that we think is failure, it's so not failure. It is truly building you up for that next level, and you have to be able to just stay in the race with it.
Right. They are stepping stones. Like um, it makes me sad when people feel like if they make one mistake, they've failed. And it's like, dude, you're learning. You're not failing. You're learning. You're learning what not to do. You know, that is not failure. That's just like a learning journey. And like what you were saying about how people join the business and they like kill it. But usually the case is that they've already made a whole bunch of mistakes in a previous business. And that's why they're killing it in this. So we often compare our, our chapter 1 to their chapter 10. But like you said, your chapter 1, you're going to suck. That's okay. Like embrace being a beginner. Everybody sucks when they start. When they start something new.
I told my girls, imagine when you started walking, you were a really bad walker. Like you were falling and bumping into stuff and scaring your parents. And, it would have been much easier for you to just keep crawling. But look at you. You would not crawl. You walked. And now look at what a great walker you are.
Yeah.
It's the same here. We have to crawl and then walk, and we're going to fall and we're going to stumble around. But it doesn't matter how slow you go. Keep going. You will reach that finish line. And I heard this from a different leader. The champagne tastes the same whether you're first, second, or third.
I love that. I love that. Because like often, I think people think like, okay, I fell. So I guess I just wasn't meant to walk, right? Like, I guess I'm just supposed to be a walker, but it's like, like that sounds silly, right? It's like,
Yeah.
no, just keep trying and then eventually you'll walk. So I say this a lot to my like personally sponsored girls. It's not a matter of if you'll reach your goal, it's when. And so, yeah, it might take you longer than the person you might be comparing yourself to or your upline or whatever. It might take you longer, but it'll happen if you are consistent.
We have too good of a product. We have too good of a comp plan. We have too good of leadership and home office support. There is no way to fail unless you fail by quitting.
Right.
And I truly believe that. And, your pace is your race, and you cannot compare yourself to anyone. Remember why you started. Remember your why, and find a truth that makes fear obsolete. Find your truth and then speak gently to yourself, because we think it's safe to go somewhere and gripe about things. We think it's a safe place. Negativity there's no safe place. And when you're feeling those emotions, take it to a trusted person, get those feelings out, work through it, and then don't go back to it again, because carrying around all that negative baggage, whether you realize it or not, it clouds the way you're able to authentically share the business, to share the product, to share the love, if you have those negative, emotions happening. So I'm really big on our team about, you definitely have a right to be upset about things, but be careful about how you're sharing that. Um, you know, there's just really not a safe place in your mind for negativity. Use power words. I will, I can, I am, I deserve this. Things like that. Talk yourself up. It's amazing what your brain does with positive words of affirmation.
Totally, because you have to like, we're all going to have negative thoughts, right? Like that's just being a human. So you're not like a weirdo if you have negative thoughts.
Yeah.
But we have to like pull the weeds and plant flowers instead. That's why we need those positive words, those positive affirmations, those personal development books. We've got to replace the weeds with flowers so that that's what's growing in our garden, you know?
Yeah.
That's what we're feeding. We're feeding the flowers, not the weeds.
My son he just graduated med school and he's going into neurology. And he said, Mom, I've seen CAT scans of people who are told negative things, who listen to negative music. And I've also seen the CAT scan of someone who is given positive, uplifting words and positive music. And the difference in the brain activity is crazy. It's true.
Wow.
Your brain has sensors that open up and embrace positive thoughts. Your brain releases neurons, dopamines. Crazy stuff happens in your brain when you feed it the right stuff. So just, be safe about the negativity. God says guard your heart. I also say for your business, guard your brain too, because that negativity can impact your learning.
Totally. It's kind of like on the Hunger Games when Katniss tells Peeta, she's like, I can't afford to think like that. Like, you can't have that like losing mindset. You know what I mean? Because you've got to be mentally strong for your business, for your family, for your why, whatever that is. And so it's guarding it requires daily. It's just like a garden. It requires us daily like watering, the daily sunshine. It's about the daily things. You can't just like do 1 week of personal development and then like check out for the rest of the month. Or, it has to be every day because every day you're going to have things coming at you, and you're going to have those negative thoughts. And so we have to like, this has got to be a daily thing.
Definitely. I love the book club you have is been amazing. I'm okay with being a student of Color Street for however long this journey lasts. I do not have it figured out at all, and I'm okay with that. And I'm okay with, part of my job description requires this reading, personal development, listening to trainings. You have to realize that's part of your job description here to truly have success. I have not met one leader who's said that personal development is not important. Not one. So that they've got to be right.
Yes, success leaves clues. So what are the top leaders doing? And many of them, most of them are diving into personal development. And I want to say something here too, because business development is not personal development. Because it's very easy to be like, oh, I'm reading a book about business, so that's personal development. No, because you're still going to have negative thoughts about just everyday things, about everyday life. And business tips are not going to help that. It's not going to strengthen your mindset muscle. So it's important. Well, I mean, I'm all about reading business books, don't get me wrong. But it's super important to also, read those personal development books or listen to podcasts or scriptures or whatever.
Totally. We have the power. It's inside of us to face and solve anything. And as a company, we're so blessed because we have so many resources that point you in the right directions. You know, I want this for everyone. And that's as you grow in this business, your why changes. And, at first it was, I wanted groceries and I wanted to be able to help, my son in med school when he needed something. And now it's changed. It's evolved into, I want every person on my team and throughout Color Street to have this success, to have this financial freedom, to have the power to change generational poverty, to break that cycle. We have it here. This is so much more than nail strips, guys. It has the power to create generational change. And so I'm so passionate about mindset because I truly feel it's the most important thing you can do for your business.
Right. Yes. And I love what you said about generation, changing that generational poverty. That's powerful.
Yeah,
And I agree that like nobody has it all figured out. Like nobody is like the official Color Street expert, right? And if you do get to that point where you're like, no, I know it all, I've got it all figured out, that's when you are not open to learning. So I think it's super important to have that like eternal student mindset and being okay with not being an expert.
totally, totally,
It's
definitely.
a journey. Entrepreneurship is literally like a roller coaster journey. It
Yeah,
is not a straight line. It's not like if you have a detour or something, then you're the one weirdo have it figured out. It's like no, 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 no. You need to make like 10,000 mistakes. You know,
yes.
like that's the journey is like a zigzag. It's like a you know.
Yeah, I think we all really sign up and we think we're going to chart like this. We're going to, and it's no, it's like this,
Yeah,
and it's almost like our heartbeat. That's kind of the same thing. And it's in those moments of those dips, that's where the growth is. That's where
totally.
you've learned something. It's in that little tiny space between where you've went down and you're just about getting ready to arc up. That is where the magic happens. That is where you're going to learn the most, and you're going to be able to authentically share your journey and how you overcame that. That's where the battle's won, in that little dip. So if you're not dipping, are you really growing? Are you really challenging yourself? You should be afraid every single time you fill out one of those growth charts, those maps, and you see all those people. It should scare you a little bit, honestly, because that means you're doing something pretty freaking amazing. Be a little scared. It's okay. If you're not scared, you're not uncomfortable enough, and that means you're not growing. You're not pushing yourself hard enough. It should always scare you.
growth comes in growth comes in those uncomfortable places, right?
Definitely. I had yeah. May was pivot for me for sure because I'm very party driven, and so I had to change and kind of do a little of everything what I saw was working for people. And I knew, like, I want I don't just want 300. I want 1,000. I want to be in circle of excellence. So I really have to get uncomfortable here and do some, different types of sales and go live and things I'm not used to. And I had a really good month, and I wasn't afraid to be afraid.
Yes, I same for me. Like I am my business model before the out of stocks was mainly online, with parties and stuff. And then I had to pivot too and like figure out some ways. But it was actually like a beautiful learning experience. And I grew in my business and I was like, oh, now I'm adding like another dimension and another element to my business and to my customers. And so, yeah, it's painful at first to try to figure things out and try to pivot when things are different and changing, but it's also can really benefit you and your business. If it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you.
Yeah. It might be too soon to look back now fondly at May, but I really do feel like as we grow, as we evolve, and we look back on that, we will take some really amazing lessons in teamwork and effort and, our commitment to Color Street, to what we're doing. We'll look back on that as that might have been one of the best months that could have ever happened to us. Look how much we grew.
Right. And in one of the books that I read in my book club, it's called Finish. And he talks about the day after perfect. And the day after perfect is the day that your roller coaster goes down. It's that dip. It's the day when you don't bonus qualify. It's the day when you don't rank advance. It's the day when you or don't maintain rank. It's the day that you get a no or whatever. That's the defining moment is, are you going to continue on the day after perfect? Because we are often such perfectionists that we're like, well, if I can't do it perfect, I'm not going to do it at all. But showing up the day after perfect is a pivotal moment for your business and your life.
So true. Lace up and get in the game and close your eyes and just imagine, what does your journey look like? Like, if you could have the success that you crave, what does that look like for you? What does that look like for your family, for your friends, for your church, for charities? What does the success do? Because it's not about the money, it's about what the money can do for your life. And so for me, I want to pay down my son's medical school debt. I have two little girls that, one will graduate next year. I have a 9-year-old. I have 5 kids in all. That's a lot of kids. It's a lot of needs. And so my why continues to change. We don't have to do this. We're not like, this is a choice you make every month if you want to continue this journey.
Right.
So when you're starting to feel doubtful, or you feel negativity, or you feel like your mindset's taking a beating, close your eyes and just for a second, imagine that moment, that whatever that moment might be for you. Maybe it's director, maybe it's senior director, and imagine how that feels. And then write that down immediately. Write that down, screenshot it, put it somewhere you see it every day. And the minute you start having those doubts, close your eyes and just imagine that. That's what's definitely helped me. I've not had placement. If I can do this, anyone can. I'm from a little town in West Virginia. I haven't worked in the real world since 2006. I'm a homebody. I'm not an introvert at all. Like, if I can do this, guys, you can do this. I promise. You just have to really want it.
Right. And that's why your why is so important, because you have to, and your why is going to evolve. So you have to have something that keeps pushing you, keeps driving you. I think at the beginning, it's easy to find that why, but a year later, do you still have a strong enough why that's pushing you to show up every day? 2 years later, 3 years later, is that why still pushing you? And if not, then you need a new why. You need to find, and sometimes I get sick of, I feel like why is so cliche, it's overused. I like the word finding meaning in your business too. Finding ways for it to be meaningful for you. So however you phrase it, but you've got to find that meaning and that like motivation to continue going, every day. I heard a quote that said, persistence will get you there and consistency will keep you there. So it's all about, and that's one of our 3 P's in our team. I can't even think of the word. In our team motto, our team culture is persistence, because it's freaking hard. It's hard, it's hard to show up every day. But the days that it is hard to show up, that's when you need maybe an extra dose of personal development. And here's the thing, I'm curious for you, Trinity, and I feel like for others, like when things get hard, don't you think that that's when we feel like we're like, no, I'm just in survival mode. I don't have time to listen to personal development books or podcasts or things like that. Don't you feel like those dips is when we need it the most, but that's sometimes when we push it away?
Yeah, we almost want to be in our feelings so much that, no, I want to feel this. I want to live through this for the next week. I want to have that misery as my company. So I want to, yeah, definitely. You have to push yourself, and it doesn't get easier as you rank up. I think it gets harder.
It does.
You've got all these people counting on you. So, it's just something, it has to become like breathing. It really does. It has to become like breathing. And so I have notebooks and notebooks of where I'll read these books and I'll write down my aha moments. And when I hit that spot, maybe I don't pick up the book itself. I'll pick up my notebook and I'll read and I'll remember my strength. I have this strength that I have a superpower that I need to remember and use it. And so my strength comes from my notebook of notes. Yours might come from the podcast or from the actual book, but you have a superpower, but you have to use it for it to work.
Yep, totally. And that's why I think it's important to write down your why, because it's easy to have days where you're like, why am I doing this? Like on the days that are hard, you're like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? And then we have to go back to like our notes for any goal, honestly, like for health goals, whatever. I was just doing this with my daughter. Like, why do you want to go to this particular college versus that. And she wrote, and I said, let's write this down, because a few months down the road, when college gets hard, like, I want you, and you start saying, why did I choose this? I wrote it down. I'm like, this is your why. Because we all have moments and we need to doubt our doubts, right?
Definitely. There's so much power in writing down something. You're linking it to your brain. You're linking it to your soul. When you write that down, you are speaking it into existence. I'm also a huge fan in manifesting.
Yes.
And I believe in what you think becomes, and so I'm huge on writing down power words. I don't go crazy I've always charted out my ranks, and I've never gone crazy and like I'm gonna hit national in a year. Like, I'm realistic,
right.
But I like to give myself those hard goals, and I may not hit it, but what happens if I don't? I land at senior executive. Like, there's nothing wrong with having these big dreams, writing them down. Your intention follows your energy, and I think that's so important.
Yeah, and I think your energy, that's why you're trying to do things that make you feel good, because when you feel good, you do good. And like you even said, I might butcher how you said it, but you said success doesn't bring happiness, happiness brings success. And so we're trying to just do more of what makes us happy, more of what makes us positive, so that we can be in like a good vibration to attract good things to us, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Because what happens when we hit a goal? We have another goal. Like, we are never truly satisfied. We're constantly chasing success. But yeah, I love that one too. I'm probably gonna have to sign out early. We are having a refrigerator delivered, which, thank you, Color Street, because I feel like everything happened last month. Our refrigerator went out, or we had to get new living room furniture, and but thank you, Kelly, for letting me expand on this. I was a negative person. I didn't mean to be. I don't think I even realized I was, that self-awareness. But if I can become positive minded and I can learn those traits, anybody can. So positivity is crucial, and we can do this, guys. We've got everything we need to be successful here, truly.
Yes, amen. Thank you. And somebody just commented and said, I love this deeper dive on mindset. I'm crying. I need this so much. Thank you, Trinity, for
you guys
and sharing this. And thanks everyone for watching. Bye.
Thank you, Kelly. Bye.